I think I hold a safe space for them to trust themselves to go there. I'm an energy healer. It's not that I'm healing them. I'm just activating them and guiding them so they can heal themselves. Everyone can heal themselves. That's how I see it.
Welcome to the Soul Circus podcast, a space where we explore transformation, healing, and personal growth. Every episode, we sit down with inspiring practitioners, guides, and thought leaders to share wisdom, stories, and insights that help us grow, mind, body, and soul. I'm Lionel, and I'm so glad you're here. Let's begin. Today's guest is someone who has worked through real hardships and deep inner work before stepping into her mission of empowering others to find the courage to live their own truth. Jaya Jankert has followed an unusual and inspiring path, one that led her to extraordinary realizations about life, healing, and purpose. Together, we're going to explore how our own journeys, even the toughest moments, can become keys to deeper self-understanding and great compassion for others. In today's conversation, we'll talk about dressing room, the balance of feminine and masculine energies, twin flames, and the deep desire to be of service to something greater than ourselves. Let's dive in. Hi, Jaya. It's a great pleasure and honor to have you with us today. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really looking forward to this conversation with you, Lionel.
For everyone listening today, could you start by sharing a bit of your story with us? How did your journey unfold and what brought you to the work you do today?
Absolutely. I think I will go back in time so you get the context. But I was born in India and I was adopted when I was 2.5 months old. So I came to Sweden as a baby. And what I didn't know back then was that there was like a big abandonment wound, and kind of that I was born into survival mode, I would say. Of course, I didn't know that. But it wasn't until I had my first child that I kind of started to question if I was happy, to be honest. So I'm going back in, like, forward in time now, but I was working in the hospitality industry for over 20 years and with people. I always loved people and stories. But it was when I gave birth that I started to be curious as well about my background. And my daughter was the one, she's the wise old soul in the family. She was kind of the one who slowly woke me up to start to question if I was going to continue living the life I was living, because I wasn't happy at all. So that's a little bit, I mean, we'll talk a lot.
Curious about working with a coach, healer, or guide? At Soul Circus, we connect you with trusted practitioners from breathwork and energy healing to meditation, yoga, and more. Browse profiles, read real reviews, and find the right match for your journey. Head to soulcircus.io to explore. And now, back to the show. To go a little bit into what happened next after this realization, I'm unhappy, I need to change something in my life. How did you manage this?
a couple of years later, I was introduced to Tony Robbins, and I had never heard about him. And there was something within his voice that started to kind of activate me into healing. So I started to listen to him, like almost 24/7. No, but all the time. And something shifted within me. I started to feel much more confident and like everything was possible. That kind of feeling.
What happened next? What was the next shift?
The next shift was actually that I started to, I found my grandmother's old skirts and dresses. She was very much into fashion at my mom's attic. And I brought them down and I started to play around with them. And I said to Mom, I want to wear these. I don't know if you see a yellow skirt behind me, but that's kind of where my brand started. It's her skirt, as a reminder. And then a friend of mine was like, you love mixing clothes after a while. She said that. Can you help me out? I have a business meeting. I need your help. And she was like, isn't this something you would like to do? And I was like, what? Yeah. Started to become like a stylist or personal shopper or something like that. And I was like, maybe. And then I think it was the next day, something showed up on Facebook about that on NK, the department store in Stockholm. So I was like, I need to get in there. And I had a conversation with the founder and the one who was running the program and course. And she had a similar story with her grandmother. And then I started there and I received the diploma. It was so much fun to just do something, from a different energy. Like, this is something I want to study.
Yes.
And then after that, I started to work in a fashion store because I was like, okay, this is a completely new environment. I want to learn more. So I started to work by Marlene Birger at Åhléns, and I asked all the questions as well, like with material, like everything was new to me. But what I found out was when the women came to the dressing room to try something, I could feel their energy. Sometimes they felt not so happy. Some of them were buying clothes from a place of lack, like that, like when you're filling a void within you, that kind of, and I could feel that energy. And they were constantly, many of them, saying pretty nasty things to themselves in the mirror. So I remember I was like, wait, because I can see something beautiful in every person I meet. So I was like, okay, I will find you something that will make you feel in a certain way. I will show you. And then when they put the clothes on, something started to spark in their eyes, and I could explain to them like what I saw and how they could play with the clothes. So that's where my brand was actually born. Yeah.
After a few synchronicities and this Facebook ad, and then wonderful, and also you felt you were at the right spot, like feeling this joy, learning this new skill, and then practicing and seeing that you make a difference by helping others, benefiting others with your advice and your love, your care that you brought. Wonderful. How did that evolve, and towards what?
What I'm doing today. Yeah, I think I remember I thought this is about psychology. It's not about the clothes in itself. And I founded my brand Empowered by Jaya because back then it felt like I empowered them to start to look like they started to look at themselves from a different perspective or perception or whatever you say, like with different eyes.
Yeah.
And then from there, I started actually to work with, I started my brand, and I started online styling because then the pandemic and everything happened. So I started wardrobe as a empowerment wardrobe coach was actually my title back then. So I went home to people and kind of clean out their wardrobe and, help them to, with their outfits and to combine the clothes and so on. But what I knew from the beginning was that I wanted to work with their inner, like their personality showing in the clothes they were wearing, and not so much about the fashion aspect, more how the clothes made them feel. So I did that, and I did it online for, I don't know, 1.5 years or maybe 2 years, more or less. But at the same time, I had started doing a deeper inner work in terms of healing and healing my trauma, my core wound, abandonment wound. So the more I started to do that, something else started to, the passion I felt by starting to connect with my heart and my body. I just knew, like, this is the spirituality and all of that. That's where my love and my passion is. But I was also scared back then to stand in that truth.
Looking for your next transformational experience? Dive into the SoulCircus event calendar, where you'll find workshops, retreats, and sessions designed to support your personal growth. From mindfulness and movement to deep healing, there's something for everyone. Discover more at soulcircus.io. And now, back to the show. Yeah, I can imagine. So, it's quite special how the insights you received in the dressing room became kind of the foundation for guiding others on a deeper, more spiritual path. Over the years, what other practices or tools have you added to your approach to help others build upon that realization?
Today, when I guide my clients as a spiritual mentor, I work a lot with emotions, and I call it emotional mastery because, and first of all, the mindset. So if whatever we are thinking, if that is negative, it will affect how we feel, our emotions. And then it will be stored in our subconscious mind, which is the body. And we have like all the past stories we have been experiencing from being birthed into this world, or before that as well, I would say, is stored in the cell memory and in the body. So for me, I work with both with the kind of the vision they have and the serve purpose they have. So they actually know what they want. That's super important. But then it could be that we want something, but we are not there energetically yet, ready to receive that. So there are blockages or doubts, or it could be, you could feel shame or guilt, or maybe you're angry, but you don't know why. There is so many emotions we haven't processed. So I call it, one thing I do is I have something called emotional barometer. So I kind of they have to measure an emotion, and 10 is it's the best. Like then you feel very integrated. So it's 1 to 10. So for example, if you would say 5, then I start to dig, like ask questions. So we get to the root cause of it in that emotion. And I tune into your energy, and now I kind of receive information, downloads, how to guide you. So it's not about me. It's about you, for example.
And you receive this information on the spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
That guides you. Yeah.
No, continue.
Yeah. So I'm curious to know about what you do with this information then. Is it something you share immediately with the person you're helping? Are you revealing everything, or is it a way for you to guide in a more skillful way? Yeah. How do you do that?
I would say like both ways. I receive it, and sometimes I sit with closed eyes and like, okay. And then I connect the dots, and I do it very quickly. So it could be, I receive the information, I know where they're at right now, and then I go back in time. So it's like a star constellation when you can see the stars. That's the best way of putting it. It's like I process information very quickly when it comes to the depths of it. And then I just know how to guide them, like ask questions. And if I feel that they're, if there is some blockage, so they might say something that resonates with them, and I could feel there is a blockage still there, I continue until we go to the root cause. But most of the time it goes pretty quickly because I hold such a safe space. So they say yes to themselves to go deep. So I think I hold a safe space for them to trust themselves to go deep. Because that's how I see, I'm an energy healer. It's not that I'm healing them. I'm just activating them and guiding them so they can heal themselves. That's what I truly believe. Like that's everyone can heal themselves. That's how I see it. Everyone.
Yes. And you're a facilitator. You're the one they can feel trust, connection, and also the safe hand next to them to authorize them to go deeper. In a way, mirroring what's happening and surrounding them with your care. Something like this, maybe?
Exactly. No, you're spot on.
Sure.
And another tool is, a lot of people learn NLP. I have it within me. So I knew that I was never going to study something in the spiritual area. I can learn from different, but I can learn. Okay. I learn through podcasts and other people only to remember what I already know within me. Like the information I have, the wisdom I have. But when it comes to this, the more I have healed and trusted myself, then I can also, how can I say, hold a safe space, but also to guide them to the subconscious mind and to the root cause. And then we create another story than the trauma story. So we create a new story in their inner child. So it's kind of the adult Lionel will meet the inner child Lionel, basically.
And when you say inner child, it's not little Lionel, younger Lionel when he was a kid, right? It's more a feeling of, I don't know, maybe the inner child that needs protection or the inner child that is joyful and wants to play.
Yeah.
Can it be both? Or
yeah, it can absolutely be both. I don't know about you, but I think I know because I talk to you sometimes now. But you like to have fun, and I feel that you're very playful, like as a person. But sometimes when we grow up, we kind of close that door and we start to live from our mind or everything we have to do or should do, or, we should behave in a certain way. And I think everyone wants to play and have fun. I do. And just be creative, whatever that means.
It's contagious when you start,
Yeah.
start being joyful and smiling and not taking yourself too seriously. Then you see that people around tend to relax and remove the barrier and remove the protection and want to play with. I feel that too.
Yeah.
You're so right. Like the way we live and the high tempo and, the conditioning with the structure of society itself makes it not that spontaneous to keep this freshness that we have as kids or this inner child that maybe wants to, but doesn't dare to. Right? Yeah. Very, very well said.
And especially when we have the phones, everyone is staring in their phones, the adults as well. I did that after divorce, and my children said to me, "Mom, can you stop? Look at your phone."
They told you.
Yeah. So what I did, I created a rule. So I think I turned it off for a couple of hours, and I can tell you, I had anxiety, which is crazy. How addicted like a phone is. It's crazy. Yeah.
Did you manage to sustain it? Like keep those 2
Yes, I
hours for many
did.
days, make it a habit?
It was a habit. Now, let me see how we do it now. I don't allow any phones when we eat. We always eat together when I have my children. And I also know if I do something, if I take, they are like immediately, okay, you say this to us and now you are doing it. So they are constantly calling me out. So I also need to pay attention, but now I work a lot from my phone, but when I'm with them, I try to not like be on it or be, not when
Yes.
when I have them.
Yeah. And also they are not with you 100%. So I guess you specifically pay attention to not being distracted by your phone when you're with them. Yeah, of course. When we met, we talked about human design. It seems to be very popular these days. For those of us who've never heard about it, could you tell us what it is and how it works, and maybe why people are so interested in it at this moment in time?
Yeah, absolutely. So I came in touch with it a couple of years ago, and I had never heard about it. So I want to say that I collaborate with another coach in Sweden, and she has educated herself and become like a quantum human design. I don't know her title, to be honest, but she has studied a lot, the depths of it. But so I collaborate with her. But for me, human design is a mix of quantum physics, astrology, Qin, chakra system, and let me see if I forgot something now. No, I think all of that, which is basically you and I and everyone else have like a unique design within us energetically. That's how I explain it. So you have special gifts already. within you, and I have special gifts within me. And we also have a way of, there's 5 different energy types. And depending on which one we have, we also make decisions differently. And we have a soul purpose already. Not exactly, I have a spirituality, but not exactly what I'm doing. It's so wide, but still. So the more we know our human design, we can also start to work with our energy to have it flow more. So making decisions, how we can work with our energy, the purpose, the soul purpose. So basically, but also the genetic trauma. So which goes 7 years back. So it's like 7 years, 7 lifetimes back. Sorry.
Yeah. So,
7 lifetimes back. Um, and when I started to read, so what happened is, for example, if you would have a human design, I will take like your birth date and where you were born and your name, and I send it to her, or I put it in, and I will get back like a full report, like 70 pages and the audio file. And I send it to you, and then we will go through everything. But it sounds a lot of information. It is, but she has done it beautifully. So it's very kind of a manual, I would say, like a soul manual.
explaining, giving information about or insight about how we function and what our strengths and weaknesses, maybe something like this.
Yeah. And also there's a lot of astrology behind it. So depending on when you were being born and where the sun and the planets and the moon and everything, the placements, that's also from, like, a lot of information comes from that as well. So what we also receive in the human design and in the guidance I provide is your personality, but also your subconscious, I would say, not personality, but how other people perceive you. So it's more a little bit hidden. But when you start to go into it, it's like, okay, it's spot on. And also for me, when I guide my clients, it's also depending if they have what I would call defined or undefined chakras. So for example, if you have a crown chakra where you have a defined energy, you don't need, like, you don't take in information from the surrounding that much at all. So it's kind of defined. It's already kind of vibrating within you. But I have an open. So when I go out, I need to protect my energy because, like, everything that's going on in the outside world and everyone I meet, I can feel their energies and if they have opinions and stuff. And it makes so much sense when I grow up because I listen too much of other people's opinions and, kind of criticism stuff.
Yeah. So it's first a skill to be able to read others, people you meet and that are around you. But would you connect it to an maybe extra developed empathy?
When I have it,
two
you mean?
different things.
It's 2 different. So for example, we have 5 energy types. I can just say them out loud. There are generators. It's around 37%, I think. We have manifestors. They're 9%, and we have manifestor generators, which is around 32%. And then we have projectors around 20 and reflector, which is 1%. And with that being said, it's also, for example, where you have a lot of fear in some of the portals or gates. When you know that, and you could see if you have like a defined energy or not, like it's kind of a roadmap, but on the inside, I would say. So it makes everything more clear, but also so much more fun because you understand yourself much more. And especially with the purpose that is already, there. Oh my God, my cat was jumping.
Yeah, I heard that human design, or the whole concept and tool was channeled from the beginning. Do you know more about the history or where it comes from?
Just a little bit. Rahu, I can't pronounce his name. He's no longer with us, but it's not, the science is not that old, but yes, he channeled it, but the way he taught it, it's very masculine. So I think it is one person, a woman he worked very closely with. She's the one who has also made it more in kind of in a feminine, energetic way. And that's why as well I collaborate with Eleanor, because she studied with her, like that was her coach and mentor. So I would say also to take it as a tool to get to know yourself more, but always trust yourself first. Because it is a tool. Not everything is written in stone. I mean,
Exactly. Yeah, it's a full system which we use as a tool.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's a tool
to help you.
to help us. Great. To continue with the way you work with your clients, have you noticed any patterns or key moments in people's lives when they tend to find their way to you for guidance? And also, along their healing and growth journey, is there a particular stage where you feel your support makes the biggest impact for them?
Oh, good questions. The first is, it could either be someone who was where I was, like there has to be more, and maybe they have a 9 to 5 job, or like they are employed and they don't feel happy about it. They feel that something is missing, but they might not know exactly what, and then they already started to shift their mindset. That's pretty much everyone has done that or are doing that. So it could be the sole purpose. It could also be that they have a blockage emotionally, so they feel stuck. So because I work both with men and women, and with the men, there's so much with emotions and shame from growing up, not being able to cry or kind of have their emotions validated. It's still a human being, just because you're a boy and a girl. Like everyone needs to be validated for their emotions. That's my opinion. And then it could also be, I had one client of mine, she had a very low energy. She had been, burnout before, and she felt it again. And she had also like worked with her mindset and she contacted me. And then there's some who wants to balance the feminine and masculine energies. So maybe there's a woman who's operating from her wounded masculine energies. So she is very much in a pushy energy. and constantly doing, that's why you get exhausted. And that goes for both men and women, but to not listen to taking the pauses and to be more and to allow yourself to feel your body and be present. So that's also something. And then I would say, when it comes to spirituality, like to find their soul purpose, but also to expand their spirituality, like the spiritual power or psychic abilities, I would say. Most of my clients doesn't say that, but I say, but they kind of know, intuitively that there's something with their intuition that there's something within them, but they're scared to go deeper.
Yeah. Mm.
And then the next question, let me see, you said, no,
yes, so is there a particular stage where you feel your support makes the biggest impact for them?
First in the beginning, because I can't explain what I do, but energetically I activate their soul, like a catalyst. So I know that after our first session, the transformational part will start without me have to do anything more there. But I would say the biggest part is absolutely guiding my clients into parts and emotions they have had closed for years. Today, I guided my client back in time. Yeah, when she was a child, and that there was so much like stored emotions that she hadn't processed yet. Because everyone is also, I would say, like it's layer after layer. And if we have been in a survival mode for years, then first the body needs to feel safe. The nervous system needs to feel safe. And maybe something else is going on the outside, but on the inside as well. The reflection is in the inside.
Yeah.
And then when you feel safe there, you can open up and expand your heart and everything more. So I would say that area for sure. Because for me, how can I say? There is nothing too deep or nothing too... Trauma doesn't scare me, or the darkness doesn't scare me at all when it comes to guiding, and not for myself either. Even if it can hurt and can be painful for me in my own journey, I go deep anyhow. Like that's I need to do it because I need to hold space for them later on.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So everything you do is basically centered around transformation, helping them from going from a stuck space where they cannot move on and they don't know what to do, and help them transform into like a moment where everything flows more naturally and they are more in touch with themselves. So you help them shift and grow in kind of powerful ways. Do you have in mind a few examples, like one or two examples of transformations you've witnessed through your work? Like moments where someone truly stepped into a new version of themselves that you could share with us?
Yeah, I can share one of my clients. The transformation took place so fast. And that's her, like when we started, she was low in energy and she felt stuck. Like that was her emotions. And within 1 week, her energy was so much higher. Because basically I did a human design, like I started to do that, but I didn't went more information from my guidance, and now we're digging deeper into it. But then I knew where, like, her chakra was open and so on. So I helped her and guided her to open up her sacral chakra, which is the second chakra and where the womb is, the central energies, and the creation energies. And from the creation energy, if we live from the creation energy almost all the time, like, and not listening to the doubts or fear, and just be in that energy, everything flows.
Mm.
And you will do, like, you will take action from the right energy, because you won't push. It will be like a yes or a no, or this is also part of the human design, when you know how you respond to what is aligned for you. For example, if you want to start something new, then, and for her, it was to really tap into that energy and started to take action from that energy. So we already knew where she wanted to kind of feel and go. And then within her week, 1 week, I think she received one more, like a big opportunity, and shifted her energy. And then we have continued. And then it could be, going back and forth. Healing journey is not linear, but that was pretty big, because it was such short amount of time as well.
Yeah.
And then another one, she didn't know what she wanted to do. And we really went into her human design first. And she started her business, just listened to what she really wanted to do, that she kind of knew a little bit before, and taken so much outside of her comfort zone. Action, and started her business. And now the opportunities, the right people, everything is just aligning. She's just attracting it. Because she has also, of course, we done a lot of healing work as well. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And that's within 3 months, I think. Yeah, 3 months.
Are you a coach, healer, or practitioner ready to grow your presence? Soul Circus is more than a platform. It's a growing wellness community where your work is seen, valued, and supported. Set up your profile, offer sessions, and connect with people actively seeking your unique skills. Visit soulcircus.io and sign in as a practitioner. We'd love to welcome you. Now, back to the show. Okay. When you talked about the first example with your client, you talked about the second chakra and that everything comes from there because that's the place where we create from. And this, I guess, is not only for women, but also for men? Or is it stronger for maybe women than men? Works the same for both, you would say?
Yes, absolutely. First of all, can you explain very, very like briefly, but first we had the root chakra from the feet and up to like the beginning of the back. And the root chakra is also where the finances, stability, and Mother Earth. That's why grounding, going barefoot is so good. Then you ground yourself immediately. And then you have sacral, which is the womb, and for women, of course. And that's also where I don't know if you heard about Kundalini energy, but that energy is like a dormant energy, like a snake. It's coiled like a snake. And when you kind of activate that, it spirals up through the chakra system. So it's a flow. And Then we have solar plexus and emotions, and we have the heart, throat chakra, and the third eye, but also the logical and the third eye. So the psychic and logical, I would say, and crown chakra. And I know there are many other chakras as well. I haven't digged into that information yet. But for me, it is, like you say, both men and women. If you have an unprocessed trauma from your childhood in some of your chakras, it will create a blockage, and it could also create how can I say, like not a gap, but you feel stuck, and you are stuck because that energy is stuck in your body. But when I guide someone to open up there and heal that energy, and you release it and let it go, you can receive more. So all of this is also when we talk about like money, which is just energy. If you have a lot of stuck energy and fears in your body, the flow of money, like it might be that you spend a lot, but you don't receive as much, for example. Yeah.
It's a flow. It's energy, indeed. Cool. Thanks for this precision. I know you often work with balancing feminine and masculine energies, or what some call inner polarities. Could you share a bit more about what this balance means to you, and what advice you usually offer to people to help people harmonize these energies within themselves?
Absolutely. So polarity, first of all, is there's polarity in everything, like night and day, moon and sun, light and darkness. Like everything has a polarity, and in the energetic part, there is the feminine. For example, the feminine energy. It is the moon, and it's the darkness, like in the womb. That's the feminine energy. And then when you're born into the light, it's the masculine energy. If that's very but just so you can visualize it. And when we have wounded masculine or wounded feminine, it's more, for example, with the masculine energy, it can be if you procrastinate, you don't know, like you can't make a decision. Maybe you are very aggressive in your behavior. It could also be that you don't feel safe. So you can call in a lot of, like, instead of setting boundaries, there's a lot of people maybe taking advantage in some ways of you. And in the wounded feminine energy, there could be, for example, the biggest one, victim mindset or victim.
Victimization.
Exactly. And survival mode, and I would say people pleasing, codependency. So there's so many traits in both, in the wounded parts, but when we heal them, we expand to the divine, because the divine masculine and the divine feminine, when they are in balance, there is just pure harmony within. I'm talking within you, like you can feel it. So, can I take like a really easy, like a simple example that I think everyone can relate to. So, for example, and now I'm referring to a man and a woman. It could be two women and two men as well. But for example, they've been away working all day. They're coming home. So maybe then let's play with this, that the man is home first. And maybe he picked up, if there are children, they're home, he's home with them. They go and play and do something. He goes maybe to the bathroom and take his time or do something else, sit down, read something, do something, not do, but just be with himself a little bit. And then the woman comes home a little bit stressed and like, okay, we have to organize dinner. Okay, you haven't started with the dinner. Where's the children? Like in that energy.
Yeah.
And she walks around feeling frustrated. This is also, by the way, me before my divorce. And then there is a conflict. Most probably. Some kind of. Instead of, if she comes home and she's like, I'm home, I'm just going to take my 20 minutes by myself now, and then we can start preparing the dinner. And maybe she's going out for a walk, or I don't know, taking a bath or a shower or something else, meditate, read, like do something in her own space. And the same goes for him. And then they meet up. And both are more in the grounded, energy. That will shift everything. So that's just
So it's also about listening when you need to prepare yourself for the next phase in your day, like making sure you remember to have this break, this pause before you jump into something else, as a way maybe to resetting your mindset and prepare yourself for what comes next. But kind of have a little moment of meditation with yourself, landing your thoughts, thinking, okay, I'm not at work anymore. I'm now at home, and I cannot jump into preparing dinner. Otherwise, it's just being in the hamster wheel again, continuing this the whole day, but landing, breathing, feeling the joy to be home, and then go to the next occupation.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Great. I had a question about twin flames. Yeah. Because this is something many people hear about or have ideas around.
Yeah.
Not everyone truly knows what it means. I'd love to hear your perspective. How would you describe what a twin flame really is? And do you believe everyone has a twin flame somewhere out there? Or is it healthier maybe to approach this idea with a little bit less attachment?
Oh, I love it. I would say that from my belief is that everyone has one, because I don't believe that some people have and not. I mean, we are all love. So why should some people have and not? And when I didn't even know what twin flames was before I met mine, but I believe that from my experience, it's like a soul recognition on a very, very deep level, where you just feel safe without knowing. And it's basically one soul split in two bodies, where one carries a little bit more masculine energy and the other a little bit more feminine. And if it is a man and a woman, it's most likely that the woman carries a little bit more feminine. It doesn't have to be, but most of the cases when I talk to other twin flames as well. And the purpose of it is actually not the kind of the romantic side of it. It is pure a spiritual Kundalini awakening, and to heal all layers of everything that we've been taught, to come back to our own wholeness. We are whole. We are not broken, but we can feel that we are broken sometimes, even if we're not. That's just an illusion. But to come back to our truth, without like proving yourself or imposter syndrome or whatever it can be that you need to heal, and codependency and people pleasing and whatever. So basically the I would say that if I not compare, but if you have a soulmate and a twin flame, it's not the same, because a soulmate, you can have many. You have many in your soul family, and you can have different soulmates in a life's journey. It could also be friends that feels like soulmates. But if it is in a couple, in a relationship, you grow together. So you help each other, like physically, to be in the same space. Twin flames needs to do their individual healing journey.
Okay.
Why? Because it's so intense. So if I, for example, need to heal something, for example, now I've been deep diving in codependency. I was, for a couple of years ago, I was like, yes, I'm done. And I was like, no. It was just a layer, the first one, I think. And now I've been deep diving into it. So I can feel his energy where he's at, like, because we share the same energetic blueprint, and he feels me. So we can also heal each other. I have had his pain in my body and was like, this is not my pain, it's his. And I, talk to him. And
From
like,
that, yeah.
Yeah. Like, something going on your back. And he was like, yeah, how did you know? And then I received the download how to process it. And he has done the same for me. But with that being said, it's the emotions are so intense. So if one person thinks it's a lot to heal their own painful emotion, it's like times 100. It feels like it's something. But the beauty is when you've gone through something, the expansion of the heart is so big, because the twin flames are right now, many are kind of reunited because we are here to help and guide humanity to unconditional love on a higher frequency. So in the 5-dimensional and more, which is love, joy, creativity, flow, ease, harmony, and to have that pretty much almost, I don't know about 100% of the day. I don't quite believe that yet, but because we're humans, but more or less, during the day. So there's a lot to kind of heal, I would say. I don't know if this answered your question. I don't think so.
Yeah, it does. Beautiful. Thank you. It's always a subject that is triggering questions, and I'm always very curious about it, but it makes sense. Also, merging it to the idea of consciousness rising up this moment in time on this planet of ours. So yeah, makes sense. Thanks for this. Yeah.
I can add something.
Yeah.
I just want to add something, that if someone out there is listening now and want to find or they want to call in their twin flames, I have just one advice. It is to focus simply on yourself, whatever you want to feel, and what kind of future self you want to unfold. A lot of people say become. For me, unfold is more, we have everything within, but really do the inner work and not so much put focus outside of yourself. Because if you have a twin flame, and if your soul contract in this lifetime is to reunite, you will meet them.
They will appear in your life. Yeah, this will happen. And if it's not here to be, it's fine. It means you evolve in another way without your twin flame in this lifetime. Great. Thanks, Yaya. We're getting closer to the end of this beautiful moment together. What's one thing you'd love listeners to take away from this conversation?
One thing is that you are meant to continuously grow and not live from your comfort zone, I would say. So to really challenge yourself to feel and be more of what lifts you up, what makes you feel joy and happy and love. And truly have the courage to do the inner journey, because then the magic will come more and more and more. And it's all about, I say, to feel and heal, but to dare to do it, I would say. Yeah.
Where can people find your work and connect with you?
The best way is on Instagram. On my profile, there is a link to my bio, or you can send me a message there, or on Facebook and LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn, but Instagram is the quickest way, I would say.
What's the address of your Instagram account?
It's Jaya Jankert. So it's my name.
Okay, easy. Good. And to finish with Yaya, I'd like to go through a round of quick fire questions.
Yes.
Are you ready? Okay, let's go. Describe your work in one word.
What comes to me is soul aligned. That's the result. Yeah.
A quote or mantra that you love.
One step at a time.
What does a meaningful life mean to you?
Oh, a meaningful life means to me to be curious, have fun, support others, and give a lot of love and appreciation, and be grateful. A lot of grateful.
When you make a soul connection, is it instant knowing or slow unfolding?
Instant knowing.
If you could give your younger self a piece of advice, what would it be?
Oh, it would be to know that you have everything within you, and to trust yourself and have fun. To have fun, a lot of fun. Yeah.
One thing you wish more people knew about themselves?
That they are pure, like magic. They are magic and they are love, but they have everything within them. And I mean every single information and knowledge and soul wisdom, they already have it within them.
How would you define love?
I would define it as spiritual emotion of light and joy, that kind of bubbles in my body. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this beautiful moment together. It's been a beautiful ride from the difficulties into transforming yourself, then transforming others, helping them to empower themselves, connect with themselves. Love it, loved every word, and I hope this will also be useful to many of you listening to this episode. Thank you so much, Yaya. Thank you for your work and for benefiting everyone, the world around you, and those who come to you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And for inviting me. Thank you.
What a truly uplifting conversation with an equally remarkable person. Jaya's story is one of self-empowerment, and I feel so grateful and honored that she shared her journey, both how she empowered herself and now continues to uplift others. I found this conversation incredibly insightful, and I truly hope it brought some value to you as well. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, and we can't wait to have you back with us for the next episode. Wishing you all the best from the Soul Circus HQ. And until next time, take care.